Hi everyone, and welcome back to my introduction video. I appreciate you stopping by. Today's song we're checking out is Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath from their iconic record Paranoid. And I don't think I've heard the song before, but if I have, it's been a very long time. I definitely don't remember it. But I know that Pantera did a cover of this song as well, I think in the 90s on their record Far Beyond Driven. And I think I've heard that before, but it's been a very long time since I heard that as well. So I definitely don't remember what this song is like, or it might come back to me when I'm listening to it, but we shall see. But I'm excited to check this out. A lot of people requested this one. I'll go ahead and read some of the comments I received from this. So first from Mr. Deadstew, they said, Planet Caravan is a very unique Black Sabbath song, worth a listen. Put your stereotypes away on this one. So I'm guessing it's going to be a very unique listen compared to Black Sabbath's usual sound. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what that's like. And then Smooth Move said, Planet Caravan is the Black Sabbath song you want to react to. It's the best. And then Mora, 1948, they also said, gotta do Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. Nothing like you would expect. So, seems like there's a lot of hype around the song, and it's very unique. So, I guess I've listened to a decent amount of Black Sabbath up to this point. Thanks a lot to a lot of people's suggestions I've received. So, let's go ahead and check this out. And in the words of Jeff Walker, let's rock. Wow. Yeah, this is very different. Everything feels like it's underwater, kind of. Like, I feel like I'm listening to this under the sea. Like, the drums, the tone of the drums, they sound different. I'm not sure if there's an effect being put on them or something like that, but they sound kind of like bouncy or liquidy in a way. And then the bass as well. I've pointed this out in other Black Sabbath reactions, so there's not like anything surprising to me, but his bass tone also sounds kind of like smooth and liquidy in a way. And then the vocals as well have some kind of effect on them. I'm not sure what exactly it is. It could be like something like a Leslie speaker, possibly. I feel like that's kind of what I hear about. Let me listen to that again. Yeah, I like the bass tone a lot on this. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a Leslie effect, or a Leslie speaker or something like that. If it is, then it's very mild. It's not anything like what I think of. Usually when I think of like the Leslie effect, I think of like the single version of the Beatles guitar solo, Let It Be, which is actually I prefer that version surprisingly over the album version of Let It Be, but that's just a little bit trivia where George Harrison used like a really prominent Leslie effect on his guitar or Leslie speaker on his guitar to get that really unique guitar tone. But that's kind of what the vocals kind of slightly remind me of right now. Such interesting sounds. What instrument is that? It's like bubbles popping or something like that. I feel like it could be a guitar or something like that. The way it kind of swells in the volume, the way the volume kind of swells in, it feels like it could be like a guitar doing that with a lot of effects put on it. But wow, that sounds so interesting. insane reverb on that voice. Oh, is it fading out? It is fading out, wow. I did not expect that from Black Sabbath. Or maybe I kind of did because I knew it would be different, but that is very, very different than their typical style for sure. I'm actually going to rewind that whole guitar solo because I want to hear that again. I didn't know we were going to hear a guitar solo in this song because it is different than Black Sabbath's usual formula, but I'm glad we did in the end. And it's a very unique guitar solo for Tony Iommi as well. It kind of breaks his conventional guitar solos that I hear from him. Let's listen to that again though. First thing I wanted to point out was the guitar tone is so different than his usual lead guitar tone, right? Like he has like almost zero gain on his guitar tone here. It's very clean sounding guitar tone, like no distortion on it, which I guess is in line with the rest of the music, of course. So it makes sense that he went for a much more cleaner guitar tone for this song. But yeah, and then also at times it also kind of gave me like a jazzy vibe. When I listen to Tony Iommi's guitar solos, I used to think of like more blues or traditional metal guitar solos or classic metal guitar solos, but this one it kind of gave me more jazzy vibe at some parts. Maybe it's part of the guitar tone is contributing to that, but also I think in general the playing kind of reminds me of like jazz a little bit. I don't listen to that much jazz myself, but that's kind of what I feel when I listen to that. So let's listen to this again. Yeah, these phrasings remind me of jazz a lot. It's like playing a series of notes and then a lot of pauses in between and then playing a series of notes again. That's what kind of reminds me of like the jazz style a little bit. Yeah, that reminds me of jazz too. He's not using many of the traditional guitar techniques in this. It's mainly just single notes and a lot of pauses, I feel like. Like, for example, I don't hear many of his iconic unison bends or just bends in general, and also things like trills or other hammer and pull off things that he usually does in his solos. I just kind of hear a lot of notes, which is kind of reminiscent of the jazz style of playing, in my opinion. He's also doing a very good job of controlling his dynamics throughout the solo. You can kind of hear when he transitions from a lower part of the fretboard to a higher part of the fretboard, he starts picking more aggressively, and that also in turn increases that sound volume of his guitar. And I think that's really cool. He's doing a really good job of like kind of emphasizing when the high notes come in versus some other notes. right here is playing very quiet. And then here he suddenly gets a lot louder on the higher part of the fretboard. Oh, I think I hear a piano too. Yeah, I don't think like I hear piano a lot in Black Sabbath songs either. That's interesting and unique too. Yeah, overall that solo, it kind of just felt like a jazz like solo with like a series of notes being played sparsely, or like a burst of notes being played with pauses in between. Very, very unique solo, and I like that a lot too. But yeah, overall, a very, very unique listen to Black Sabbath. It's nice to see another side of them. I'm not surprised that they have like a slow song because I've heard like some of the other songs and they have slow sections in other songs or more mild sections that are not necessarily metal. I'm not surprised that they opted for a full song that's kind of like this, but it definitely is very unique for sure. Not just in the fact that it's not a metal song, but also when you hear like the vocals, like you don't normally hear vocals with that much like effects on them in their other songs, or also like the drums also sound like super different than their typical drum setup tone or whatever. And also Tony Iommi's guitar tone has like zero distortion on it throughout the entire song. And then you also got to hear interesting things like the piano in the outro, I think, and then also just some sounds I still can't make out what instruments those are, or if they are instruments, like the bubbles and popping and things like that. Just a very interesting song. I'm not sure what the lyrics were talking about. I kind of tried to pay attention a little bit, but I think there's something about like some planet. Of course, with the name Planet Caravan, that's what you would expect. But let me go ahead and look really quick. Yeah, overall, a very like solar system kind of vibe. You have like things about skies, stars, the moon, night, the Earth, purple blaze, an orbit. Yeah, so just overall, a very like um, I don't know how to say it. Like some kind of maybe they're talking about some kind of planet that's existing somewhere. Where this is like they're kind of describing what's on the planet. For example, like the crimson eye of great god Mars, traveling the universe. Yeah, overall, pretty unique lyrical content. I feel like for Black Sabbath as well. When I usually hear Black Sabbath, I'm used to hearing things like, the devil or God or heaven and hell, that kind of thing. So pretty unique lyrical content for Black Sabbath, I feel like as well. But yeah, overall, thanks so much to everyone who suggested this song to me and also giving me so many recommendations. If you guys have any more Black Sabbath song recommendations, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I appreciate you watching this video.